Alrighty. And we are live. Oop, and the OBS messed up the intro card there for a second. But hello, everybody. Welcome back to It Came From... the Backlog. Today, I am joined by the illustrious, the amazing, the man who has many opinions about Valorant, Ammar, Kachwala. How you doing, Ammar?
Oh my god, I feel like playing Valorant right now. It's okay, let's just crack cases.
Push everything aside. It's time to pub stomp. Ah, and Jason's in the chat. Hello, Jason. All right. So, Ammar.
I think Jason never sleeps.
Oh yeah, I know. That's just it. It's like it's like 2 a.m. where he is, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll still hang out for like an hour." Murder. Jenny LeClue Detectivu is, by all accounts, one of the more exciting games that I've seen kind of just come out of the woodwork. It's most notably, it was a big Apple Arcade game at the time, and now it's presenting itself as sort of this. Wait a second. The stream's hitting a hitch. That's weird. Yeah, I'm not getting kilobytes through. That's...
Hey Elijah, am I audible?
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out that you're audible. The stream seems to be the data stream seems to have... Okay, that's weird. Bitrate seems to be improving now. Let's see here. There was some kind of spike there.
I think it's working now.
Yeah, it seems to be, Alright, let's see here. I'm still moving really slowly. Hold on, let me try... Can I adjust the bitrate on the fly here? Hello, Casey! Just give me a minute here. Let's see here. I'm upping the bitrate, seeing if that helps at all. YouTube heard that we had a stream with relatively few glitches. Okay, yeah, now the preview's coming through smoothly. Okay, I think we are good. All right. All right, excellent. Yep, Jason says it's all coming through good now. All right, so as I was saying, Jenny LeClue Detectivu is essentially what if Velma was solving crimes on her own. It's a metatextual adventure mystery because it's a fictional world inside a fictional world. It's this young, Nancy Drew-like protagonist, and her author is being encouraged that for the latest book, he has to up the edge. He has to make it a little bit more mature and such. So now she's going to have to deal with like a real murder instead of like a usual child-friendly case. And on top of that, the game has now received a full free update adding voice acting. So it's something that both Ammar and I have been very curious to try out. So we will be starting right now.
So when you say voice acting, you mean like Disco Elysium's Final Cut?
Yeah, very much like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, apparently there's even New Game Plus. Might have to turn down the audio a little bit. It's a little loud. Arthur Tunn, you'll never want to leave. Oh, so we're playing as big, tall, and
Okay.
ominous to start with.
Okay, that's interesting.
Alright, let me try and tweak the audio down just a little bit more so that everybody can hear us too. I will keep the audio at a little bit higher though for the dialogue so that people can hear people talking. Oh, by the way, fun fact, another neat little thing they included is there's actually a Halloween costume that you can have Jenny wear.
Ah.
So, while we're, stalking along with our briefcase, Ammar, tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you into games journalism?
Okay, so I don't want to sound serious, but I really think that video games are like uh, the next step of art. You know, I actually think that video games can deliver really powerful experiences, and that's what inspires me to write about them. I really like when games can innovate and tell stories that um, we never heard before, or in a way that's never done before. So I have even written a book about it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was I just published it around September of last year, and it basically deals with games, and it compares it to movies and such, and like tries to display how narratives can be created differently with video games. So yeah, you know,
I feel you, and I like the sound of that a lot.
yeah, and definitely Disco Elysium is mentioned a lot because that's one of the games that really like inspires me. You know how it's just so different. You don't have combat, you don't have action, you don't have anything. You just have words and narratives, and you still manage to swoop in like what, 4 awards? And
Yeah.
wow, just yeah. I mean, dude, there's nothing more impressive than that. I wouldn't have been mad if it actually won Game of the Year in 2019 instead of Sekiro.
Yeah, 2019 was... It was a rough year for the world, but it was a pretty good year for games.
Right? Yeah, definitely. And what else did we have? I'm trying to remember.
I remember that was when, like, the... On the less positive side of things, there was the Titanfall 2 debacle with the hackers. That was a thing. Goodness. Oh. I think we've broken the first of the fourth walls.
Yeah.
Yep, here's the author.
And I like this game. I mean, it lets you play at least. It's not just 5 minutes of
What?
cinematics.
Who?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I must have dozed off. Perhaps we need a spot of tea to wake us up. What do you say, Rufus?
Puppy! That's a soft, very tired puppy.
For some reason, I think I'm running like
Yes,
2 or 3 seconds
quite
late.
right.
So
Better get back to work.
where I am right now, the old dude just woke up.
Oh,
And he's not.
yeah, because you're seeing the feed like everybody else on YouTube. Yeah, there is going to be, unfortunately, a little bit of delay. Fly boss. We have the ginger boss.
Maybe I should start somewhere easier. I'll come back to the prologue later. The sun rose over another perfect day.
This game's
in
really
picturesque
aesthetic.
Arthurton.
Oh, yeah, it's gorgeous.
Like,
And the crazy thing is, believe it or not, this isn't running in 2D. When they showed during development that in Unity, this is actually 3D. There's multiple layers to everything. And you can't even tell. They made it that seamless.
yeah,
To the casual observer, Arthurton seemed like any other small, quiet town. It was nestled in a valley between 2 mountains, lined by lustrous forests, and perched on the edge of a pristine lake.
this is a setting.
It had a main street with all the essentials, including a place to sip coffee.
And Snow White's just there in the background. Agatha Krusty's, Mr. Bean's coffee. Oh my gosh. Galen Dan's The Great Placebo. Oh my goodness, these puns are beautiful.
It had schools, a college, a church, and a police station. It even had a museum no one ever visited. It was the kind of place you might find anywhere on your travels. Typical. Maybe
Is
even
it just me or does this town remind you of like old 50s America or something?
Oh yeah, the Americana.
Like you see in those gangster movies?
Hmm.
Yeah.
But there was one thing in Arthurton that was unlike any other town in the whole world.
James says, my dad joke radar is going wild with these puns.
Actually, it was a girl. Her name was...
Understandable.
Jenny LeClue.
Oh, she's adorable.
And she was the world's greatest detective.
Oh, it's Velma.
Finkelstein residence.
And you mentioned this game is a fictional world within a fictional world.
Yeah, that's just it. Like, Jenny's whole thing is that she's written by him, so he's narrating it all as he's writing it.
Oh, hello, Glenda.
Wow.
Yes, he said
Velma
he
in
might ring.
Inception.
Okay, patch me through then.
Oh dear, this sounds troubling. That's a huge belt button.
Yeah, and look at his face animations. Really well done.
Richard?
And he has a picture of his
Yes,
dog.
I got it.
He
did,
has to be a
and
good
my
guy.
answer is no. I understand
Or maybe
that,
he's acting.
Well, yes, of course, but... No. Nothing is settled. I'm not going to do it. It goes against everything my books stand for. No, not yet, but... If I could just... Please, listen to what I'm saying.
I sense trouble afoot. Wait, can I? Oh, you can move the things! Well, it's me again, Arthur K. Finkelstein.
Oh, I definitely like this.
Here we are
Okay.
at book 38 of the Jane LeClue series. Her most joyful adventure yet. Thank you to all the new Jane LeClue fans out there. You've been incredibly supportive. To answer your questions, despite rumors you may have heard, of course the Jane books will continue as long as there's ink in my pen and ribbon in my typewriter. Yes, it will be more of the same. I refuse to change my formula. Arthurton will always be a safe and happy place. Oh, these must have been... Yeah, these are like
Okay.
Kickstarter backers.
Yep.
Wow. That is...
How many pages? Okay, wait, we can read the whole thing.
Yeah, you can
No?
see. There's
Okay, it's just one page. Okay.
It's like 5 pages of Kickstarter backers who got to the point that they could be mentioned in the game. Yeah. Ooh, what's that? Ooh.
Just imagine finding your own name in that list.
There actually is a game with my name in the credits, believe it or not. Well, not my given name, but my old username. If you ever play Tiny and Big Grandpa's Leftovers, in the special
Okay.
thanks section where you see Paradigm, that's me, because I was one of the first fans of that one way back then. Ooh.
That's gotta feel wholesome. Can you drop it?
Yep. Seems so.
I don't know, try turning off the light and the lamp.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Let's see here. What's this? Hope all is well. I've got some bad news, old chum. There's no easy way to say it. I have attached the latest book sales numbers. Ooh. Nowadays, young readers want more mystery and danger. You're losing them with Jenny's increasingly timid and repetitive adventures. One bit of good news is that it's too late for the stores to cancel their orders for the next book, so we're going to give you one last go and see if you can breathe some life into the old girl. We want you to try a proper murder mystery. Start killing people off. Add some drama. The bottom line is, if you don't step it up, I'm afraid it's a case of Jenny and the Last Hurrah. I love that he's writing notes on it. He's giving, like, corrections. As he's reading through, it's like, I'm not a murderer! Okay.
Yeah, they should probably call George R. R. Martin for that.
In other positive news, someone from a real newspaper, which apparently is a hack newspaper by him, finally reviewed your last book, Jenny LeClue and the Missing Marmalade Sandwich. The 38th and hopefully last book in a series which is very much past its prime. Oof! Once a collection of mystery stories cherished by children all over the world, Jenny LeClue has since taken a nosedive into mediocrity. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, I was just saying that was brutal.
The only mystery left in Arthurton is how this trash keeps getting published. This reader nearly died of boredom. On a positive note, the book makes a good doorstop. I couldn't even imagine writing a book review that scathing. Like, I remember reviewing a really bad Star Wars book. It was like a year back, and I wasn't even half as harsh. And they're like, are you sure? Are you sure? Maybe we should tone this down a little bit.
And they didn't even wait till the conclusion. They just started with that.
Yeah. Took the worst bits out. His first claims. I imagine all this might come as a bit of a shock, but we've got to move with the times. Throw in a murder or two, a dash of real tragedy, and who knows, maybe you've got one great story left in you. Ow! Ow, that hurts. I'll ring you later to discuss. Sorry about your career. Chin up, though, eh? Wow, yeah, Mr. Inkwell needs he needs a punch to the face. Oof.
I mean, after reading that review, he's just gonna kill everyone.
Oh, my. But there is also a familiarity between the two. Okay, let's see. Does the lamp... Okay. Yeah, it does turn off. Okay.
I wish we could just drink
asking for.
whatever he's having.
You want me to turn Jenny's world upside down? Kill off my characters and destroy everything I've built over the last 30 years?
To be fair, after 30 years, any franchise would start to get repetitious if it's only one person writing it. Like, let's be reasonable to Arthurton here. Like, he's one guy. I would run out of ideas for the same story after maybe 12 years.
Fine. I'll give you what you want.
Yeah, I don't know why that reminded me of Stanley.
But I warn you, I'm a stream of consciousness writer. And you have
I could think of only just one person who kept writing
Good day, sir.
for 3 decades.
Yeah. And coincidentally, some of his later stuff, like, what was it? There was this boy named Chakra that he had as, like, a superhero at one point. There was a bunch of stuff he did, like, independently that never really got the big acclaim of Spider-Man. That kind of, like what's going on here with Arthurton, it was sort of divisively received.
Well, if it's murder they want, it's murder they'll get.
I do remember hearing about that. Yeah, but it's just not... It didn't hit the mainstream at all.
It's hard to recapture that magic after a certain time. That's why I understand why some people shake things up. Like when
perfect day in Arthurton.
Craig Ferguson went from, comedy to, like, briefly doing environmentalism and documentaries.
To begin with.
Yeah.
Jenny
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be stuck in one place. And I think that applies to not just writers, but anyone in the
Her
arts.
skin was pale. her eyes glassy and frozen. What cruel fate had befallen our beloved detective?
Wait, we died already.
No, no, no. Never move the victim.
Mrs. LeClue, she's doing it again.
Jenny LeClue, you are a dead body. Dead bodies don't talk. But he's doing it wrong! As wonderful as it would be if all cadavers were so talkative, we must deduce the cause of death without their help. With only the evidence laid before us, we build a picture from the fragments left behind.
You know, I respect this mom for going to the lengths of involving her daughter in her classes. Like, she knows that she's gonna get into trouble, so at the very least, she can keep her busy.
We
Yeah.
collect clues, interpret the data, and solve our puzzle one piece at a time, until it feels as if the victim is speaking to us. But Jenny is right, Jonathan. You mustn't disturb the crime scene. Vital evidence could be lost.
Sorry, Mrs. LeClue.
Okay.
You've all had a chance to study the body?
Just look at that board.
Who can postulate how she met her demise? Ooh! Me!
I think it was an accident.
Yeah, she obviously wasn't looking where she was going
So she slipped on the wet floor,
and cracked her head open. Like an egg.
and then she bled to death.
Really? How can you tell?
Well, there's a giant pool of blood around her head.
Yeah, I know. I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
Isn't this a chemistry class though?
Actually, you're both wrong.
What?
It was cold-blooded murder.
Murder?
Don't be ridiculous.
Where's the murder weapon?
There's no evidence anyone else was even here.
Oh yes, there is. It was murder. And I can prove it.
Oh dear. The case of the dead assistant.
Jenny had read all the books. She'd absorbed all her mother's teachings. But there was nothing quite like getting your hands dirty.
How many people get the chance to solve their own murder?
Well, you know...
This feels like a really well done cartoon.
Oh
Or an
yeah.
anime. You know,
First step
you get
in
what
any
I'm
good
saying?
deduction was
The
collecting
face
evidence.
animations and the just the way it's directed.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, sorry, you were saying?
No. I was just... my brain is just still just marveling at all of this. 'Cause, yeah, I hear what you're saying exactly. It is like we are playing a cartoon. Like, this is up there with Oxenfree in that respect.
Seemingly insignificant details could
Exactly.
provide a vital
Yeah,
piece of the puzzle.
it's really well done.
First, I'll search the crime scene for clues.
Then she'd analyze the data, and finally...
Deduce the real cause of death.
Oh, the desk was a tutorial! That's clever.
Approximately 8 sizes too big. And covered in mud. The floor is wet and slippery,
Okay.
but also immaculately clean. What a waste of perfectly good coffee.
Jenny's love for coffee was almost as strong as her passion for crime solving.
Chalky green residue on the rim. Smells like burnt matches.
Jenny's blue sweater was scruffy and quite uncomfortable. But her grandmother had knitted it, and so it was her favorite. The more it itched, the closer she felt to her.
There's no doubt the victim lost a lot of blood.
Oh, there. There we go.
Without her trusty bifocals, Jenny couldn't see the nose in front of her face. They
I
were
want
her
to
window
say
to
that
the
she
world,
slipped,
and the
but
lens through which she
doesn't
focused
seem
her
like that.
keen detective vision.
Yeah,
For
the
some
lack
reason.
of dirt on the floor suggests that, like, it's almost like her feet weren't moving at all. Or
Yeah, and she wouldn't have fallen in that direction. You know, she would be like, her face would be facing the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Oh. There's nothing on the periphery there. They're getting the 80s synth music in here.
God, I love that. You listen to that? You like synth music?
Some yes. Actually, a friend of mine, her music teacher is very into like using a lot of electronic stuff in her things.
The victim has a green smudge on her lips. It's not lipstick.
Okay. I'm not sure what the last clue is, because wait.
It wasn't Jenny's style to wear accessories, but this hair clip was the exception. Its function as a lockpick had saved Jenny from a long night trapped in her school locker.
Oh.
She'd worn it ever
There's
since.
just one more. Okay, you found it.
I've seen enough. Time to wrap this case up.
Jenny was a meticulous record keeper, noting every relevant clue in her trusty journal. A great detective knew that solving a mystery was simply a matter of connecting the dots.
I'm certain this wasn't a mere accident. Now I just need to prove it. How do I know the victim didn't slip?
It's interesting how the user interface works. I know this was originally made for iOS, but this
The victim's
is
boots are
really
filthy.
slick.
They should have left big muddy
Was
footprints on
it?
the floor.
Like it was made for iOS?
Oh yeah, yeah, this was like an Apple Arcade game back when it first came out.
So where are they? Either someone washed away her footprints, or she was carried here. Okay, that proves she didn't slip. So how did she actually die? What was the real cause of death? There's a green residue in the bottom of the victim's coffee cup. It smells of burnt matches. Phosphorus. Also found in common garden fertilizer. The same green mark is on the victim's lips. Her coffee was spiked with fertilizer. Someone clearly wanted her dead. Ah, the case of the dead lab assistant.
Oh, does she do a whole whodunit now?
Gone before her time. Was it poison? Yes. A blow to the
Man,
head?
I feel smart
Yes.
right
An
now.
accident?
I feel so
Certainly not.
smart.
Yeah, this is really good and graphite. And the thing is, I could still see a kid being able to enjoy this. That's
No
incredible.
footprints in an unshattered mug?
Yeah,
She was killed somewhere
It's-
else and carried here.
I don't know what to
This
call
was
it.
the story of a
Immersive.
scorned ex-lover,
Jenny?
the gardener, enacting his revenge.
Jenny!
A deadly brew of fertilizer and caffeine coursing through the veins.
That's quite enough, thank you.
What happens to the gardener?
Is this gonna be on the test?
Remember, class, even the smartest criminals make mistakes. This is how we catch a killer.
But what's the point of all this?
Yeah, there hasn't been a murder in Arthurton in years.
Every town has a dark side, even Arthurton. By doubting, we are led to question. And by questioning, we arrive at the truth. Okay, that's all for today. Don't forget, next class is our field trip to the morgue. So have a light lunch.
Yeah, I would have a light lunch if going to the morgue. Definitely. Look at that.
The students need to think for themselves, Jenny. That's why they're here at Gumboldt. To learn.
Gumboldt. That's a name.
I just figured we all had places to go. Speaking of which,
And where are you off to, young lady?
I'm a dead body mom, remember? Dead bodies don't tell. See ya.
Wait, before you go, I have something for you.
Cool. What is it?
If I told you, that would spoil the fun, wouldn't it?
The LeClues didn't simply hand each other presents.
Wow.
They hid them.
Dead bodies don't tell.
Dead bodies don't tell.
It was a family tradition. and Jenny had developed a sixth sense for finding them. With her trusty magnifying glass at her side, nothing eluded her.
And
A new journal.
To Jenny, there was nothing better than the aroma of a fresh leather notebook.
I feel that.
It smelled like mystery. Without missing a beat, she did what any detective worth their salt would do. She decorated it.
Oh my goodness. This is adorable.
We have a map, we have
All kinds of different...
okay.
You can adjust the scale. So like X marks the spot. Oh my gosh, that is just the cutest thing.
And I think you'll unlock more.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, from the looks of it, yeah, there's a whole mess of, yeah, this is page 1 of 4. Wow. That must be what the art gallery things we've been picking up are for, so that you can customize the journal more.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A new journal meant new adventures. She imagined all the thrilling cases that would soon fill its pages. And on the first page, her mother had written an inscription.
A great detective never gives up. Love, Mom.
Find a map, keep it here. Choosiness. Oh, they actually analyze your personality. So it's doing the Silent Hill Shroud Memories thing too, and kind of like Disco Elysium. So right now...
This game is just getting more interesting.
Yeah, this is incredible. Yeah, it's like CEO, a realist who's emotional, and a bit of an improviser. Interesting. And it tracks all your... There are 18 pages worth of branching choices. Oh, that is one thing I should note. I specifically said it in the game that the choices are not on a timer. James wants to know what mystery smells like. Well, it tends to be a little like fog and a little bit kind of like the journal aisle of a Michaels or like a Joanne Fabrics. That's around where it smells like. Wait, you can... Yeah. You can actually add stickers inside of it too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I could see kids just loving the hell out of that. That is just...
I love
so
it.
sweet.
I think, I think when it comes to kids, most of them would just spend time decorating.
Jenny,
Because
I
a
wanted
lot
to
of stuff in here is
talk
actually
about,
kind of difficult.
to say,
I mean, it's not for everyone to solve everything that the game throws at them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm trying to remember the name. There's one, believe it or not, there's actually one other game that this is remind me of in this respect. There was this Myst clone that had this creative mode where you could just like kind of put stuff on the page and create. Jason says mystery smells like Teen Spirit.
Somewhere in the back of Jenny's highly caffeinated brain, an alarm bell was ringing. Her mum was hesitating. What could be causing her to act so out of character?
Limited eye contact. Oh, it makes an announcement. Defensive fire language.
Crossed arms. Furrowed brow.
Jenny saw it coming from a mile away. Her mother was about to get...
Emotional.
Egad! She'll break the Vulcan Pact!
No, Jenny, wait. I need your help.
What? Really?
Jenny couldn't believe her ears. It was extremely unusual for her mother to ask for help. It must be something very important. Tracing the steps of a deranged killer? A cold case that only someone with Jenny's expertise could solve?
I've misplaced the students' essays on decapitation.
Okay, the zoom out, slow motion zoom out was smooth.
I also am just wondering, you know, what does an essay about decapitation include? Like, is that actually a thing? Is that a thing?
In school?
I had
See if you can
to
find
write
them for me
some
before
weird
you leave.
essays,
I have
but
to run.
No, it never went there.
Wow.
Man.
Case of the misplaced papers. Are you sure you want to trust me with such a complex task?
1 second here.
But hey, I think these are all detective students. So I think it makes
I have
sense.
no doubt you'll be able to find
I'm just
them.
not sure how
They're
you make
around
an
here
entire
somewhere.
essay out of it. Do people get into arguments about, like, the arterial spray when someone's head's cut off? Did someone do one about Marie Antoinette and what were her final thoughts after the guillotine?
Jenny was unsure if her mother was unable to detect sarcasm.
Yeah,
or
I mean
just
they
really
can probably
good at
figure out the
ignoring it.
weapon just from looking at the display.
This is fair.
Okay, Mom. I'll find them before I leave. On one condition.
Yes.
You have to let me help grade them.
One of Jenny's favorite pastimes was grading papers. Nothing pleased her more than giving a big shiny F to an overconfident student.
Don't push your luck.
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
Find the papers and go straight home.
But I'm meeting Keith tonight.
No buts, remember?
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm still feeling the effects of being poisoned for your class.
Well then, I have the perfect antidote. You're staying with your cousin this weekend, and you still need to pack.
This again? Look, I've considered your offer, Mom, and I'm going to have to decline.
I'm going to have to decline.
I'm old enough to take care of myself.
I'll be back late tonight. There's meatloaf in the fridge.
Late again? What are you up to?
Jenny LeClue, it's been a difficult week. Could you please just do what you're told for once and stop asking questions?
Fine.
And try to stay out of trouble.
When do I ever get into trouble?
Yeah, that is shitting grin of one who exactly knows the answer to that question.
All right, let's find these papers and get out of here.
One of Jenny's earliest memories was making raspberry jam with her mum.
It's the perfect substitute for blood in class demonstrations.
Okay, I guess you
And
can
better
move
tasting
around.
than the pig's blood the textbook recommends.
Alright, while we're walking around here, I wanted to have a chance to finally ask, so, as you said, you've been looking for, like, you see the nuance and the artistry in games. That was what pulls you in. So I'm curious, what was the first game to really make you feel like that? Make you see the depth that you could find within the medium?
Oh my god. That's a really good question. I think
Looking
Assassin's
rather
Creed.
trim today, Ethan.
Um,
New diet?
specifically
What's the matter?
the
Lost your funny bone?
Brotherhood. Because I played that, and when you know how Assassin's Creed uses real places and a lot of real history.
Yep.
That really appealed to me, and that it intrigued me a lot. And I remember
Please do not touch.
staying up late at
Someone must
night,
be running an
and
experiment.
I was young. I mean, I was supposed to. I used to go to sleep early, and for school and whatnot. But I would
Gross.
just stay up and just keep researching about these
Pretty soon it's gonna
characters
sprout
and
legs.
how Ezio, a fictional character, was incorporated within real history and how that worked.
Mm-hmm.
It really appealed to me, and after that I just kept playing. I just finished the entire series of whatever Assassin's Creed had, and from there it just spiraled out of control, I guess.
I mean, that's a pretty good diving in point. Like, especially if you love history, Assassin's Creed is up there as just one of the best damn ones out there.
Becoming a
Yeah,
great
and
detective
before,
took more than book smarts.
before Ubisoft became Ubisoft, they used to make these incredible stories. Like, you just couldn't compete. I'm sorry. Like, you could throw in The Last of Us, you could throw in the best story game it just wouldn't be as compelling as Assassin's Creed.
You needed real-life experience. And Jenny was always on the lookout for a chance to get her hands dirty.
Yeah, like, I enjoy some of the later ones they did, like Assassin's Creed Syndicate and that, but I always wonder what things would have looked like if they had actually ended at 3 and had to just go from there and, like, take what they had learned and applied that to another franchise. Because I remember they almost made another historical one, 1886, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah.
But it never actually came to fruition.
Exactly. And you have a point. I mean, Ubisoft has always been saying that their original plan was to end it at 3. Like, they didn't have any story after 3 at all. But obviously, I mean, I don't know, they just kind of continued with that because, money was coming in.
Yeah.
And Valhalla sold the most, like, out of any Assassin's Creed. So you're kind of stuck now. I mean, you don't have that creative vision anymore, but you're still getting the money.
Yeah, and there have been neat entries. It's like, it feels almost more like an anthology series at this point.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Where are the papers? I know
But you know what? Elden Ring did well in that regard. They didn't completely throw away Dark Souls, but at the same time they've included some major new things into the game. So it actually feels like an evolution. It doesn't feel like they completely just ditched everything before and they just made a completely new game that fans don't even recognize anymore.
Mm-hmm. That magnifying glass is quite the effect.
It's one of the
Yeah,
students'
no, I
term
get what you
papers.
mean, and that is the thing I respect about FromSoft is that they always just follow what interests them and explore that. Like, they're finally coming back to Armored Core, which is amazing, because I want to see what a post-Dark Souls Armored Core looks like. The sheer amount of depth and complexity to it all will probably be staggering.
You can tell by the terrible handwriting and erroneous conclusions.
I think
Mom must have put them
Armored
behind the
Core was
chalkboard.
their first, at least I think Miyazaki's first game series, was it?
I think that was, yes. Huh.
Found you. Time to
Okay,
get
I
at it.
like that. I mean, it's not that you would find that paper if you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, that was...
Wow, okay, so you moved the board.
Jenny looked around the room one last time. Was she ready to leave?
Yeah, we've found just about everything we can.
I think it makes sense to have documents that have
So she wasn't really
bad
dead.
handwriting
That would be
because
silly.
it's a chemistry
No,
lab.
Jenny was alive
So
and
you
well
would have
and ready for
doctors.
another perfect day in Arthurton.
Alright, so now we get to explore the town. What on earth?
What the?
Wow.
What a mess. I should investigate.
There's a sound of danger. Ooh, let's go to it.
Jenny had an instinct for sorting treasure from trash. To the untrained eye, this was just a discarded piece of an old postcard. But to Jenny, it was a mystery waiting to be solved.
I should keep my eyes open for any other pieces.
Ah, so there's a collectible too.
The notice board was awash with flyers, personal ads, and the occasional piece of gum.
I'm amazed anyone can find anything on here.
Fortunately, Jenny had a useful trick to use in a situation like this.
Mom always says, a great detective eliminates the noise. Focus on the details, and you'll find clarity in the chaos.
Mystic Healing with Gloria, monthly meetup, Stargazer Society, textbooks for sale, slightly chewed? Who's chewing their textbooks? Pop-up party project this Tuesday, Missing Cat answers to Trevor.
I
Okay.
wonder if anyone else reads this junk. Hold on. What's this? Oh no, they've extended curfew hours again. 9 p.m. to sunrise? That's ridiculous.
But necessary. Power outages had become a regular occurrence in town. It was dangerous to be wandering around after dark.
Something's afoot.
It won't be long before we need a permit to go out at all.
Dean Stroudsbury.
Signs and decorations adorned the entire campus.
A party to celebrate the dean's impending retirement.
Wow, yeah, this is old school.
So Elijah,
Sorry, what?
yeah, no, I was just wondering, now that you've played so many games, which game is or series is that you just can't get enough of?
Probably Dead Space. Dead Space is probably the one that you could just keep making them and I'd play them. Like, I've even played the Dead Space mobile game. I still have an iPhone 4 that, like, its speakers don't even work anymore, but I keep around specifically because it has Dead Space Mobile loaded up on it, and you can't play it on any, like, modern phones like this. Doesn't play it anymore, so... Apparently some people have gotten it working with Android emulation, but I haven't gotten to try that out yet. But just, yeah, Dead Space just clicks for me so much because the second entry really just emotionally resonated with me a lot. And in terms of just the gameplay, it is so good. Just everything that I want from like a third-person action survival horror experience is there. It's the one series where if there were mod tools, even if they were like the most archaic, like 90s era style mod tools, I would learn how to make them work, just so that, you know, I could go into it.
Left.
When did you play the Dead Space?
I first played Dead Space... I got started right around the time of the second one's launch. I'd been hesitant for the longest time because I normally actually hate gore. Like,
Left.
it was always an issue for me.
I said left, damn it. What part of left are you having trouble with?
My left or
I
your
mean,
left?
you just
I
like
left.
you don't like it, or
Oh no, it's just yeah, gore for me. Like, I have obsessive compulsive disorder, so the compulsive part is
okay.
probably the compulsive part comes with intrusive thoughts. So if, like, I see a horror movie and I see someone get stabbed in the eye, my brain's like, what if any time you look in the mirror for the next 3 days, you see that happening to you? It's not even like it's scaring me, it's just disgusting and unsettling. But for some reason, I found
Oh
out
my
that
God.
with games, that doesn't typically happen. So as a result, Dead Space was my first ever horror game, and it was like a door opening, because I love horror writing, I love the depth and complexity that comes with horror. It's like a mystery, you have to peel apart all these different layers, but I've never been able to do movies and very few bits of TV. So, like, I only just saw The Shining last year, so...
okay.
And that one's not even particularly bloody or anything. Which is ironic because my mom loves horror games, like absolutely loves them.
Obviously, I mean my left. Why would I mean your left?
But yeah, playing Dead Space was like a door opening, and it was the perfect balance of what I would want from a horror game. It's a thinking man's action game combined with some really heady Lovecraftian horror, just so good. And it does so many things in terms of its combat that so few other games really do. Like, a lot of games tend to...
So you want me to move it the other way?
focus, you know,
Yes.
more on just
Nothing
like,
would make
shoot
me
zombie in the head, or shoot zombie in the knee so he stumbles. Dead Space is like, every
Yeah.
single enemy is a different puzzle that you have to piece apart, and on top of that, the puzzle is multiple choice based on what equipment you have and what ammo you have, just like, the interconnecting blocks of it all is some of the most intense design I've ever seen. It is simply jaw-dropping. And, yeah, I so want more of that. I really hope that the remake they're planning on
If you're not
releasing
careful, we're
soon
gonna have bronze
leads
brains
to
all
more
over the
Dead
floor.
Space. Supposedly it's trying to make the first one line up with 2 and 3 more, and I really hope they take that angle with making Ellie Langford the protagonist in a 4th one, because, oh my gosh, I mean, she's literally was trained as basically a space trucker, so she's the perfect person to have just, like, exploring, you know, the post-apocalyptic solar system in the wake of everything.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that perspective would be...
They seem busy. I should probably
That would
leave them
work.
to it.
I actually want to try playing all the Dead Space games now.
Oh, well,
I mean, if it's that complex,
I'll warn you that the first one has a very campy story, but even the guy who wrote it is like, yeah, nah, that did not come out together quite how we wanted it to. The second one has an amazing story. There's actually, like, comic books and novels that all tie into it, too. There's even a movie that's pretty decent that ties into the first one, though, that makes it for a really good time. There was a rail shooter for the Wii that was tons of fun. It was like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, years beforehand, just for this little horror game that, you know, EA was hoping would become a big thing.
Hello, Mr. Stroudsbury. How are you today?
yeah, man, I totally agree about the zombies thing. It's just
Jolly
boring.
gentleman.
It
The Dean
annoys
was
me.
often seen shaking hands
Like,
and
it
kissing
seriously
babies
annoys
around
me.
town.
He's also
Yeah,
Mom's
we can
boss.
do so much more with horror monsters and threats and
But
stuff
more
like
than
that.
that, he was her loyal friend.
Yeah, and they'll just have like
What do you think,
a
Jenny?
couple of cheap jump scares and call it a day. Oh my god.
The Dean
That's
had
why I don't
dedicated his
even
life
look
to
at horror
Gunpowder.
games anymore. Or even movies, actually.
Like, I do want to be clear, there are some Resident Evil ones that have been good. Resident Evil 7 was amazing in VR, and, like, I still feel like Resident Evil 3 Remake was marvelously paced. Like, as games trying to be movies go, it was
townspeople had
by
spared no
far one
expense
of
in
the
their tribute to him.
smoothest ones. But
Quite a striking
there's a
resemblance, Mr.
lot of just generic zombies, and having to actually dismember and because, like, there are enemies in Dead Space where if you know the right way to take them out, you can take them down in like 2 shots. 2 very easy shots once you know how to do it. Like, it is amazing.
Yeah, but you gotta learn.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing, Jenny. Retirement.
Great excuse for a party, though.
How
What will you do
about...
when you're no longer
Okay,
the
so
dean?
what would you think of Senua? You know,
I've
that...
been trying not to
Oh,
think.
the
Hellblade?
Hellblade?
I've
Yeah.
been meaning to get to that one. I have owned it for forever. Ironically, a friend has played it through Steam Family Share. I still need to get to it. At the time, I couldn't keep going through it because the AMD recording software I was using kept crashing it, but no, that's not a problem.
Okay.
So,
This place won't be the same without you.
I really want to get back to it. I do love Ninja Theory stuff, though. They do some amazing work. Have you played it?
Yep. Yeah,
Things
I am.
change, Jenny.
I haven't completed
Time
it, but
marches
I'm
on,
like
and we
halfway
must do
through.
our best to adapt. It's
I
going to be
really like it.
difficult,
I mean,
but
the
I'm
gameplay is
sure
kinda...
we will get through it.
I mean, it's
What do you
fine.
mean,
It's good enough. It could be more, but I think
Do you think they
what they are
made
doing with
my
horror,
belly too
you know, they are
big?
taking a different angle. I like that. It's not visually or jump scary type of horror. It's more like
probably
your
just the
audio.
perspective, Mr.
They
Stroudsbury.
whisper things in your ear consistently and just creeps you out.
Oh,
I like that angle.
Yeah, Ninja Theory's games always tend to be a bit lean, but they do some fantastic, like, visual design and presentation. Like, their Devil May Cry game. I know the Devil May Cry fandom is still not very happy
Yeah.
with it, but it was a really just jaw-dropping game with some kick-ass combat to it, and I don't know if you have a PS3, but if you do, Heavenly Sword. Heavenly Sword is... It's up there with some more recent games that have tried to be more experiential, like this, actually. Like with Jenny LeClue, in that the mechanics are all built around just trying to emphasize a specific feel, rather than trying to be like, this is a game, you will do this kind of mechanic in this kind of way, and you will like it, young man.
Speaking of which, have you been practicing your detective skills?
Have I?
Oh my
Of course,
god.
always.
Well then, I have a challenge
Do you
for
notice the sun,
I bet you can't guess what I ate for
the
breakfast.
reflections, like, you know?
Oh
The
yeah.
reflections on these characters right now.
Oh yeah, the
It's gorgeous.
shader work. Yeah, that is good lighting.
At last, a real challenge for Jenny.
And actually, since this isn't all actually true 2D, they must have like specific elements set in like the textures or the models. And yeah, they must have this dynamic shading. Oh my
A
goodness.
fiendishly difficult
This is
puzzle
really
that would
good
take all her
work. I
wits
mean,
to
just
solve.
look at this.
Yeah.
Look at the background.
Oh dear. Okay, we're almost through with our first hour, so we'll be switching over to Bright Memory Infinite in a minute. So my question is, do we respect our elders or respect them some other time?
Some other time.
Okay.
Let's
To be honest, I'm in a
let's
bit of a
not
hurry.
follow tradition right now. Let's see what happens.
Okay,
Sorry, I just have to be somewhere.
of course. I understand.
What? No, that's not right. Jenny would never turn down an opportunity to flex her intellectual muscles. So she did what the dean asked.
Oh my gosh, the author's fighting with us now.
Fine. Anything for you, Mr. Strasberry.
Oh, how wonderful.
But first, I need to ask you a few questions.
Yes, Jason. The Devil May Cry game, which is that was confusingly named Darn Well, is good stuff. But despite that, when I tried to say that on the internet, I did have an entire Reddit thread come after me. So, you know, you never know. Spoon instead
Looks
of
like he
pen.
accidentally put a spoon in his pocket instead of his pen.
Oh,
Got a
nice
coffee
badge.
stain on it.
A thick bundle of note cards poked out of the dean's pocket.
What's he keeping so close to his chest? You've been making a lot of notes, Mr. Strasberry.
Oh, I was intending to make a speech on Saturday.
Why have you scratched out so much of it?
Your mother suggested I keep it short. And quite right, too. I must have rewritten it 20 times by now.
Oh gosh, I know that feeling.
I just can't seem to find the right words.
It can't be dandruff. He has no hair. I have a hunch it's powdered sugar.
Well, it was just Donut Day. So, you know, Tattoos Day.
The dean was a big fan of the Gumboldt moonbeams.
Oh, I can believe it, Jason. I have a Silent Hill fan who still is annoyed with me that I gave Shared Memories like one of our top 3 spots
And
on
not
that
just
list.
because his son was a prominent figure on the team.
If there's one thing the internet is happy to argue about, it's people liking things.
Well, a bench warmer anyway.
Oh, I'm missing a button too. Oh.
Yeah, man, when I was young, I would make a fake account and just write shit about stuff. I don't know, it's fun.
Dean didn't button his shirt.
I sound like a troll, but to be honest, I was.
But the seeds indicate otherwise.
I think we've all been there at one point or another. I remember back when I used to blog on Game Informer, back when they used to have a blogging community. I I was a lot saltier than I am now. There's a lot of, back and forth arguments.
There are.
I remember I was telling you about that a little bit. Yeah, it's like there were people who would leave like sometimes people would leave longer responses in the comments section than in the actual blog post.
That's unlike the Dean. He's usually very
Wow.
punctual.
Yeah,
Your watch is
that's
45 minutes
enough
slow.
said.
Is it? Oh my. That explains why there was no cheesecake left in the cafeteria. My head's not screwed on today. Thank goodness you noticed, or I'd be late for my meeting with your mother.
Oh, really? She didn't mention anything to me.
Oh, well, of course she wouldn't. It's nothing important.
Nice save, Dean.
Why are you meeting then?
It's just, she's helping me finalize my plans for,
Your party?
yes, that's it. My retirement party. Thank you.
You gotta love it when the person you're trying to deceive helps you with the deception.
Are you okay, Mr. Strasberry?
Yep.
Of course. Now let me just fix my watch before I forget. Now, where were we?
Ipsa scientia potestas est. Looks like Latin. Your ring sure looks old.
It was made for my grandfather. He passed it down to my father, who passed it down to me. And when the time comes, I'll pass it on to my son.
1 second here.
The Stroudsbury family had been champions of education for generations.
What does the inscription mean?
Knowledge itself is power. The inquisitive spirit is a mighty thing, Jenny. And nothing is as important as the truth.
I think he'll pass down that watch to us at some point. It's just, I don't know. It's the trope. It's something that happens whenever someone shows you some important object. They're gonna give it to you.
For the Dean, being covered in plant life was not unusual. His work as a botanist was renowned.
Looks like you're carrying some extra baggage today, Mr. Strasberry.
Well, I do have a lot on my mind.
I was referring to your legs.
Oh, thank you. I have been doing my daily calisthenics.
No, I mean the sticky stuff on your pants.
What? Oh! Hitchhikers. I've been working on a new orchid hybrid in my greenhouse. They're beautiful, but the leaves are quite clingy.
In before this orchid causes a zombie apocalypse.
I will say, I am looking forward to spending more time in the dirt. So, what do you think, Jenny? Can you guess what I had for breakfast?
Sure, Mr. Strasberry. I've got everything I need to solve this mystery. What did the Dean eat for breakfast?
Alright, we'll wrap this up here and then we will go into the cyber ninjaing of bright
No,
memory.
that's not it. I'm missing something.
Oh, I thought this one actually really.
Jam on his shirt and powdered sugar on his tie. The evidence points strongly to the Dean's breakfast consisting of 1, maybe 2 donuts. What else can I tell about the Dean's morning?
You remember that you said you can't really binge Disco Elysium? I think this is the same kind of game.
Oh yeah, it's like that. I know we've been having to take pauses every now and then to talk
The Dean had
because
neglected to wind his pocket watch.
it's just like there's so much going on here.
There's a lot of detail.
The act of a distracted man. This resulted in his whole routine being thrown off, which might explain why he has a spoon in his pocket instead of a pen. You had a donut for breakfast.
And I remember playing Disco Elysium and just having 1 or 2 conversations and then checking my journal and remembering what they said, and holy shit.
Oh yeah, no, just, like that. I remember when I was reviewing it for Escapist, I had to play it like an hour at a time, and then take a break. It's just like my brain, so many words.
Exactly. It's just,
Yes.
and the choices you made within those dialogues, and
I'm guessing.
you also had your inner thoughts and
Strawberry.
other stuff like clothes, and oh my god, this
How
is
did
just
you
too
know?
much reading.
That
It's
part
like
was
you
easy.
read a
You
novel
always have donuts
with
for
a video
breakfast.
game.
Yeah, and like I said with the role playing, I know that can be a lot of fun, but just the amount, like just it's like the amount of sheer prose, and it's all so good. It's, I guess the best way to describe it is like Disco Elysium is like eating a really rich cake. You just can't eat too much, or literally your stomach just goes ugh.
Yep.
It's almost too good.
Oh?
I think you have something on your mind, Mr. Strasberry. You are usually
And
a
that's
picture of
the
precision and
that's
punctuality.
the complexity. You wanna keep playing, but you can't. Your
Yeah.
brain
There's a
just
spoon in your
stops.
pocket and your shirt button is undone.
My, you really are a LeClue. Your father would be so
I had
proud.
the same experience playing Dark Souls 1.
Thanks.
That game is old.
Well,
It's
I should be going. I'm meeting your son by the lake.
it's so janky, and oh my god.
Oh, that actually brings back a fond,
And I'm meeting your mother in
fond
the
memory.
library. What a small world this is.
Too small.
A perfectly small world with everything in its right place.
Who would want to change that?
Oh, so that's the angle for Jenny then in this story. She wants to grow up too. It's almost kind of like the comic I Hate Fairyland. She's been stuck in this one world, just constantly being a kid.
Pardon?
Yeah, I do get the coming
on
of
Saturday.
age kind of feel.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Until we meet again, Jenny LeClue.
Alright, I think that's going to be it for Jenny LeClue right now, but oh my goodness, this is delightful. Alright, we will be right back in just a second with Bright Memory Infinite. And we're back with Right, Memory Infinite, whose audio I really need to turn down because, wow, that's loud. Settings. Music language. Okay. Yeah.
Another game that looks great.
I'm still amazed that this was almost entirely by one guy. Like, that is still just
Yes.
so incredible.
Yes.
Alright.
And also Undertale.
Hmm.
Amazing stuff.
Oh, yeah. I think it was something Yahtzee actually said not that long ago that put it nicely. It's just sort of like the whole idea of when you have a game made by one person, you can very much understand everything. Like, even if it's a weird thing, you can understand that person a little bit better because it's that personal. You can instantly connect with it. Whereas if you have like a game made by a mess of people, sometimes you can find that personal touch, but it's a lot harder.
Yeah. Yeah, it just gets lost somewhere, and yeah, I can definitely imagine. This game makes me wish that they made Mirror's Edge again. I love that game. I really like that game.
Yes. How sad that there wasn't a second one that was really awkward and tried to reboot the story and forced everything to be a really weird open world game.
Yeah.
Lucky that didn't happen. Those pants have got to chafe.
They should, yeah, but they won't because they're cool.
That is a thin phone. You do not want to hold that while angry. Whoa, her hair is really excited.
Hello? Director Chen. What's the matter?
Shelia, sorry to disturb you.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know, some Tomb Raider kind of stuff going on. The hair would just go crazy. I don't know if you played the new ones.
Okay. What's the current situation?
Which one did you say it was?
Tomb Raider.
Oh, Tomb Raider. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, I know what you mean. I remember that in the 2013 one when I tried to turn on those AMD effects. Yeah, that got funky.
Look at. Oh my god, it just looks weird.
It's like she's got a tentacle monster that's just sitting on the back of her head, which is actually one of the characters in Skullgirls. So maybe this is just some really stealthy Skullgirls fanfiction. These boots were made.
Yeah,
from
and you wouldn't.
Sorry, go
and
ahead.
you wouldn't suspect anything from hair. And there comes a surprise attack.
These loading
Okay.
tips load so fast.
The news channel said mysterious black object. Okay. That's
I
not
mean,
something I've heard before.
they didn't say it's an evil black object. It could just be a misunderstood black object.
Oh my god. We are going there.
I mean, can't we, just settle our differences through over some tea with the demons?
I've locked in the flight coordinates. We'll be arriving at the designated airspace in 10 seconds. Follow your instructions and activate the warp drive.
The warp drive?
That sounds so weird.
Activate.
That sounds so weird that you said, settle this over tea. But the latest Spider-Man movie tried to do something like that.
Oh yeah.
But they made it in a good way. I don't know how it actually connected.
Sometimes a subversion can work, and sometimes a subversion is the last season of Game of Thrones.
Oh man, we don't want to talk about Game of Thrones. The disappointment. Oh my god, the disappointment. And how did you how did you watch the game? Like, did you watch it alone or with family or?
Oh, actually, it was mostly by proxy. My dad was addicted to it. I just would sometimes sit in and watch the things. He's the one who was letting me know about everything that was happening there, and I'm like, ooh my. There's a lot of dubstep in this jungle.
A black hole. Understood. I'll inform the other team members. For now, find a safe place to descend.
Honestly, it's miraculous that the black hole is only pulling that little into it.
Yeah. That's action game logic or action movie logic. Only you would get affected by everything.
Enter the Michael Bay verse.
But you know, seeing this graphics and everything makes me think of Crisis.
Oh
I
yeah.
like how they are planning for Crisis 4, you know?
Yeah, and I'm really not sure what to expect because I love Crisis 1, hated Crisis 2, loved Crisis 3. So I'm nervous if the even number is going to mean it's going to be a rough time again.
Oh, I see that.
General Lynn's unit has already landed.
But
Actually, yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Crisis 1 was obviously, I mean, that was phenomenal. It was legendary. It just broke everything else when it comes to like technology, you know?
Oh yeah,
You
not
can't-
only
you
the
can't-
technology, but like in terms of design, it's like probably the closest we've had to a real successor to the first Half-Life, like more so than even Half-Life 2 in that respect.
Yeah, and for some reason Crisis is not as popular, at least as much as I would like.
Shelia, this is Wake. I'm headed to your coordinates now. What's the
Yeah,
situation?
I always wonder what that ending they were originally planning was, because like you know how that first one ends, and it looks like we have to go back to the island, and then we just rise over all that. It's like, what happened to Nomad? Oh, they just fell in a ditch somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, and you have this whole weird thing with the suit that it has its own personality now, and they just took that angle and they just ran with that. But I do think the Crisis 2 ending was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, the ending
bit
was
cringy.
fantastic. Ooh. Sorry, they were throwing me there for a minute. They're throwing a lot of inputs really quickly at the player. Because that's deflect.
Actually, the numbers you see, the UI with your gun, the ammo and stuff, that's exactly like Crisis 3.
Yeah, it also
The 3 bullets, the font, I still remember.
Actually, that raises a great question. Did you, perchance, ever play Starbreeze's Syndicate?
No, I haven't.
Oh, because if you like this style, this is very much how they
Okay.
designed that. It's basically there's a single-player campaign, but the main thing to play it for is the co-op, which thankfully you can also solo pretty easily. But it is this cyberpunk dystopia, and you get to play as the bad guy the entire time, and you're just wrecking everything.
Oh, okay. Sounds interesting.
Shelia, got several hostiles headed your way.
Would this run on your 1060?
I don't know, because
I gotta check.
Okay, interesting. I stab at thee!
Oh, that's dope.
Oh yeah, this is... He's not gonna walk away from that one.
Stable. I can't get a lock on your signal. Wake should be arriving in the vicinity. You're gonna have to rely on him.
Understood.
Wake?
It's a lot of bullets though.
Hmm.
Huge team of them, so it may take some time since there's the possibility of an encounter.
Oh, I also can force push. Good to know. But the wood is immune to force. Gotcha. Excuse me. I'm walking here.
Boss fight.
Not yet, I think. The boss fight I remember from the original release was like... Gosh, it was like some samurai Viking hybrid.
Yeah, this game is just going for everything. It makes it look cool.
Hmm. Yeah. Actually, do you know about the controversy behind the original Bright Memory?
No, why? What happened?
Okay, so back when he was making it entirely himself, the main developer got into some trouble because turns out he actually pirated some of the assets because, you know, it had started as a hobbyist project. He didn't really think about, you know, oh,
Yeah.
right, legalities. But then it's like, oh, I don't actually own these things. They're actually part of this specific Korean MMO. So then he had to briefly swap them out for some really silly looking ones, and then after that he finally got, you know, started contracting some artists because he's like, okay, I can program this like crazy, but I need someone to make this not look like a butt. Oh, you can freeze them in the air. Okay.
I think I would side with the developer guy on this one.
Well, it's,
I mean, why would you really think about legal stuff when you're just making a project?
oh yeah, no, I remember. I've known many developer friends who've honestly, you know, it's like, yeah, I needed to remember to, you know, cut out these prefab things that were like placeholders. Even like, ooh, actually, a really good example would be Need for Speed: The Run. Back when it was in development, the beta version just has the one of the main themes from Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen playing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh my god, and they got into trouble for that.
Thankfully not in their particular case, but now afterwards everyone's like, oh, I see what you did there, and they're just like, yeah, I'm glad that didn't ship in the final build. Wait. My shooting senses are tingling. Ooh. Sorry, you were saying?
No, I was just saying that yeah, you should head there, and you did.
I think this is the first game in a while I've played where you're just using one gun, but it's an FPS. It's like the closest I think I've ever seen something like Call of Duty get to Mega Man.
I think you'll get new ones later on. I hope so.
If I recall right, I do recall a shotgun being in like the trailer, so I do think we can at least get that to whip out.
According to the satellite data, that area is experiencing strong electromagnetic interference. Be careful.
Oh, that's not good.
Flooded. And there are high voltage lines still in the water. How do I get to the opposite shore?
Well, your power unit contains a particle wire ejection system. Give me a minute while I remotely unlock it.
Oh dear, we're doing the Metroid Other M thing where I have to have the commanding officer be like, I have deemed it necessary to give you, you know, a suit that blocks volcanic stuff so that you don't die horribly.
Shelia, there are several enemy ships closing in.
What should I do?
The ship's armored. You should be able to fix them.
What? Okay. So it's Star Wars using the Force.
Essentially. But, you know, Star Wars if it wasn't owned by Disney. Okay, can only pull them from a certain...
You never know. You never know. Disney is actually the darkest. You can't pull that.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright.
This is just like Crisis plus Doom plus Star Wars. They just the guy, my man, he just saw all the best parts, the best bits about everything, and just included that.
I mean, that is kind of how Star Wars was made. George Lucas was like, hey, I'd like to see more Flash Gordon. They're like, yeah, no, we're not going to give it to you. He's like, okay, I'll make my own Flash Gordon. In the future, people don't wear underwear, which is a thing I'm going to say unironically. I still can't believe he got away with that. It's like, oh yeah, in the future, none of you are wearing underwear. It's like, okay.
Yeah, and that's cultural now. Or it will be. Who knows?
Okay, so yeah, shotgun. Shotgun, hula.
Let's go. And you can pull people in. Yeah. Pull them in and hit the shotgun.
No problem.
Easy.
Back you up.
Huh? Fake signal flare?
Yeah, they'll be focusing on the signal flare. Now is your chance.
Roger, I'll take care of it.
I love how disinterested they all sound. Like, it's like there's a singularity in the sky. You're a cyber ninja.
Kelly, come on.
Oh dear.
Where are these people? Director Chen! Director Chen, read me. Lost the signal.
Well, yes, you lost the signal. You're back in time.
Who are these people?
I don't know. We can collect relics to create a reliquary. You can use reliquaries to upgrade your various parts. Whoa!
These are like mecha samurais? I don't know what's going on.
I suspect ours is not that. Oh, wow. The alternate fire for this is a grenade launcher.
Insane.
Ah!
Okay, you know what? You remember that game? You do know the mobile game about that fruit thing? You just keep chopping fruits?
Oh, Infinity Blade, yeah.
Yeah. This reminds me of that. When
Oh,
you
yeah.
you're chopping dudes off. Like,
Yeah, gosh, I missed that series, actually. Ah! There was things to grab.
Spawn.
Dang it! I could have had more grenades.
This is Shelia.
What happened?
I ended up in this strange space.
Oh, they're still here.
Was attacked by some kind of ancient soldiers.
Are you okay?
Yes. What happened to the hostiles?
They headed off toward the source of the signal flare. That's a strange phenomenon. I'll let the others know.
Okay, so yeah, we do actually have points. Alright, apparently now when I do that blast, it also does an electromagnetic pulse. Okay, there's I can upgrade with one. Oh, you can actually upgrade your tractor beam. They actually call it a tractor beam.
oh,
Oh, that's adorable. Let's see, what other things are there? There's a shock punch. There is a ground pound quake punch. You eventually get
a lot of cool abilities. Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit. You can have heat seeker bullets, upgrade your bombs. You get a pistol that can fire grenades.
Wow.
and a sniper rifle that shoots stickies. Wow. So you know you hate someone if you've equipped a sniper rifle, you're taking the time to aim, and you instead stick a grenade to them that's going to take a minute to explode. It's like, screw you specifically. Oh. Thank you, Jason Moth. He just reminded me of something very important, that we forgot to update the presenting. Alright, so... Now presenting. Ooh, that's going a little off center. Let's move that over. Come on. There we go. Thank you for that catch, Jason.
Yeah, this sniper rifle thing and the ground slam kind of ability. OP. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, actually, that reminds me again of Syndicate. It's just like in Syndicate, one of the sniper rifle, if you you max it out, the alt fire turns it into like a standard semi-auto rifle, and you can just like straight up, you know, just murk people in the face with it up close and personal. It's crazy. Oh! I thought we could wall run there. We could not.
Oh, nice pull.
Thank you. The drop to my death is less amazing.
Okay. I mean, yeah, of course, you can do all that, but you can't survive water.
Water. I mean, it killed Ezio so many times.
Exactly. Yep. And remember, you couldn't swim in Vice City either.
Oh. Can't grapple there. Okay. There we go. Alright, I need to wall run up there, I'm assuming. Excuse me, sir. Eat lead? This isn't the return of Matt Hazard, a reference that only like 5 people watching this are going to get. It was a very weird Will Arnett third-person shooter. We try not to talk about it.
Should I ask why not?
Well, for one, because it stars Will Arnett, and for the other, it tried to basically be like, you know, Wreck-It Ralph, but for grown-ups, and it didn't quite click. Honestly, the most novel thing was like Neil Patrick Harris plays the main antagonist, and that's actually not his first gaming role ever. He also got to play Spider-Man in Shattered Dimensions.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay, yeah. I actually thought for some reason he was Spider-Man in the latest one. No.
Oh yeah, no, that's Yuri Lowenthal. That's. Although that actually reminds me, there is a cute thing about Yuri's Spider-Man. The woman playing the detective he works with, that's his wife.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. It is.
It's adorable.
And there's also one from Marvel. Okay, so Vision.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you remember Spider-Man's AI, like his suit AI in Homecoming? That's Vision's wife.
Oh yeah.
Because Vision was
Whoa!
Jarvis. Yeah.
I love when stuff like that happens, because you get just these some of the deliveries when they can act opposite each other is beautiful.
Oh yeah, speaking of superheroes, are you excited for the new Batman?
I'm very curious about a lot that's coming out of DC right now, actually. Like, you know, they've got the Gotham Knights game, they've got the Batman movie, and like they're gonna have, you know, a GCPD TV show. They've got the Suicide Squad game. Like, right now, I'm amazed at how much stuff they've got coming out that I'm like, ooh, yeah, you know, this could be really neat.
Yeah, finally. I think the movie is just a day away.
Yeah, they're just kind of there.
Message for Bravo. Let me know if you
Although we are getting more Shazam, so that's good.
Roger that. All's clear here.
Oh yeah, Shazam was good. It was fun.
Shazam and, well, Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey was nice too. Ooh, I think we can do another upgrade now. Yes, we can. What shall we unlock? I'll leave it up
Wait
to
a
you.
sec. Are you on upgrades? Wait.
Yep.
Okay.
So...
Do we have the ground slam?
Let me see here. There's a grounds... Oh, then we don't have enough reliquaries for that one.
Okay. Shrapnel bomb looks nice.
Actually, yeah, shrapnel bomb and tracker shells are only 1 point. We can get them both. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
You know, I really want to play that new Spider-Man game. I don't have a PlayStation, but I did play it a bit. When I was over my friend's house, he has a PS5. The swinging is so good. I could just swing around for hours, man.
I have a unique relationship with that one.
Have you played it? How was it?
I didn't come away from it as fond of it as some people, but my reasons are more down to, I actually was one of the people who really liked the one that came out right before it, Amazing Spider-Man 2, which it borrows a lot from, and I felt like Insomniac could have been a little bit bolder like that one. Because, like, a lot of what they do was just like, what you saw in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but, you know, now with an actual reasonable development budget. So... It didn't have...
You mean bolder in how?
I just, like, you know, with Amazing Spider-Man 2, it was an Activision published one by Beahm, so they did not have nearly enough time. Yeah. But they pulled through and actually make like a really heartfelt story about coming through grief and mourning and stuff like that. And they didn't actually have to follow the movie, so they were allowed to actually tell a semi-coherent story. But, yeah, it was a...
Okay, yeah, I definitely hear that. Yeah, I played that game. Yeah, it does come across riskier, I would suppose.
Yeah, it's like with Insomniac, like with the Spider-Man PS4 one, my best advice I can give is upgrade your gadgets as quickly as you can, because if you like get those maxed out, you can ignore a lot of the more Arkham style combat, and it feels a lot more like Spider-Man, because you're not even worried about punching people out, because Spider-Man's whole thing is about speed, about containing the situation. With the gadgets, you can do that. But the health system really wants you to instead be focused on punching everybody in the face. Punch everybody in the face. And I feel like they got it better with Miles Morales. The balance there was a bit better. The stealth works miles better in Miles Morales.
I think, yeah, the combat is kinda too Batman-y, too Arkham. Like, Spider just doesn't fight that way.
Yeah, his whole thing is about speed, and I just wanted to see more of that. But given, like I said, given how Miles Morales did tweak things up a bit, I'm very hopeful that they will actually, like, you know, stick the landing with this new one. Because, like, Peter's gonna have those tentacle arms, and Miles is gonna have all of his stuff, and we've got Kraven and Venom, so that looks really promising.
And who doesn't want to see Venom? I mean, he could be in a most terrible movie, but whatever.
To be fair, I enjoy his movies. They're delightfully campy.
Yeah.
But I do understand why those who like love his comic book origins were kind of frustrated with the first one, because it's like they took their really edgy superhero and kind of made him into an adorable mess of a puppy.
Yeah.
But you know, oh dear, I think I almost broke us out of the bounds. You know, I will never forget, you know, how it should have ended doing the teaser for that about the whole, like a turd in the wind. Which is just still just the weirdest damn phrase. But I kind of love it because of just how
It works.
it's weird. Okay. And now we're in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, everything in this.
Beat me and I'll tell you? I might not understand anything that's happening right now, but this shotgun feels amazing and that compensates for it a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the game in a nutshell. Have you played Web of Shadows?
Yes, actually. I did a column on it a while back. I really like it, despite, you know, its growing pains and such they went through. Ooh, crap!
Oh, I really like that game as well.
I did discover a really weird thing, though, with Web of Shadows, coincidentally enough. There's literally one section that's different from the Wii version to the rest of the versions for consoles. I was so surprised. Oh, okay. I don't know how you're supposed to grab that ammo without him murdering you. But there's this one bit, you know, right when you're chasing Black Cat and trying to recruit Felicia?
Yeah.
Right there's a different cutscene. That's the only difference between the two versions. I found that out because I had originally played it on the Wii, and I was like, okay, let's see how it is on the PS3. And it's like, wait, I don't remember that bit, and then it just completely changed. Ah, that's how we get to it. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta check that one. I didn't know about this. I thought the game would be exactly the same.
Oh, if you want to see the weirdest version, though, what you gotta look up is the amazing Allies one on PS2. It is so bad, it's kind of beautiful. It doesn't even have an end cutscene. It just, I'm not kidding here, it just ends. It's just like, congratulations, you beat the game.
That's... Makes sense, but yeah, it's like abrupt as heck.
Yeah, that's Activision.
But I really like the combat of Web of Shadows. I don't know why. I just feel like that's like the most badass version of Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Ever seen.
Oh yeah, the sideways combat. I don't think I've seen anyone else try to do that.
Yeah, and no one. I'm surprised Insomniac didn't at least take the web strike mechanic. It was so good. And I love how just the black costume just made him ruthless. He's out here ripping Wolverine off. He tore him in half. I was like, what? Dude just walked away after that.
Yeah, I remember.
Man, that was...
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that reminds me, they finally, I think it was Boundary Break did a video on it, And he found out the way they did that without potentially making a gory model or worrying about the SRB is they actually used 2 different Wolverine models. So there's just a whole other version of him sitting off screen.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's just... I love weird stuff like that, because it's like, yeah, it makes sense. It saves you so much time.
Exactly. And you know how Spider-Man is, right? So you're always interested in knowing what happens if he actually gets pissed.
Oh yeah, you don't like Spider-Man when he's quiet. That's when you run.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't really like how tanky these enemies are. Like, they just take too much bullets.
Well, I think this one is just like a straight up first boss fight, so that explains it at least a bit.
Yeah.
I kill you!
Nice one, nice rush. Oh, you're doing damage. What was that?
I don't know.
How did he die so quickly? I mean, what?
Oh, I switched to the AP rounds. That was the closer there.
Ah, okay, I see.
I have almost none left now, but they left the mark.
Wow.
Okay. Ooh.
Like, I was thinking, okay, he's not doing damage, I don't know why. And then, okay, he's doing damage. Oh, what? He's dead?
I can now unlock Ground Slash for you. It has been unlocked.
Let's do it. It's time.
Okay, I need to... Whoa! I accidentally used it to launch myself outside!
The hurricane. Run and don't look back.
Come on.
Let's go.
Jump over the cliff.
Oof. You're saying about Mirror's Edge!
This is actually a great second game. You know, you just keep thinking about Jenny LeClue, and you get exhausted, you just want to switch your brain off and...
Bright memory!
Yeah.
I'm okay. There's several enemy ships heading toward the black hole.
We'll rethink the plan. Take a rest for now.
What's that grapple? What? It just took you across... I don't know, how much distance was that?
That was over 100 meters easily, so yeah, the whole we can't pull in an enemy thing is like, well, when the game needs you to not be able to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that water thing.
Shelley, according to the sensors, the black hole is generating a stream of unstable pulse waves. You won't be able to use your exo unit or weapons.
What?
Look around for something to protect yourself.
Sorry?
I apparently can't use my exosuit or my... Wait a s...
Why?
I appear to be in a mandatory stealth section? Is there stealth in this game? It doesn't seem like a game where stealth would come up that much.
Yeah.
No?
Oh wow, they gave you a knife.
Not
A
just,
machete.
yeah, this is a butcher knife.
Satellites have confirmed several hostiles.
I move faster crouched than when standing. This is
Remember, if you get spotted, it's all over.
surreal.
Okay, I'm wondering if they play this cutscene every time you get a kill.
We're about to find out.
I hope not.
Yeah, they do a cutscene every kill.
Oh my
It's
god.
different ones at least. You saw nothing. You didn't totally see a person step out from behind that wall. It was rats. Or the wind.
I sometimes think that proper stealth is next to impossible in video games. Like realistic.
There are games I've found that can do it, but typically people hate them because they are realistic. Like, Death to Spies, 007, Legends. Like, pretty much any of them where they actually punish you a ton, and you typically have to try to get it right in one go. That is very often.
Yeah, so don't you think like if it becomes too realistic, it becomes too punishing, and then even that causes players to not play. You just get bored.
Well, there are some people who do.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a difficult balancing act to get it right. That's why I prefer
Yeah.
when you have something like Arcane's Dishonored, where they let you modify the difficulty settings. That's, in my experience, that tends to lead to a much better overall experience.
Yeah, I guess so. Assassin's Creed has the dumbest AI. They're so stupid.
Oh, I loved breaking the AI, especially in Syndicate, because like they gave you so many of these gadgets that they clearly didn't have the time to fully like do Q&A with. So like you could kill friendly NPCs if you use this one shock grenade too much. It would actually like you could take friends out, and the game would just be like, oh well, nothing to see here.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
I'll take over. You get some rest. So sleepy. I'm gonna go take a nap. Good
Yeah,
luck.
I like Syndicate's gameplay. Like the design is really good, and it actually borrows a lot from Unity. It's a shame. Like Unity was a good game gameplay wise, but damn, the technical issues just.
Yeah, that was a bugbear. I think probably the best part for me with Syndicate out of everything was it really did like having player agency, like with the gang boss fights. I remember there was the one who runs away whenever you confront her or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I
remember.
I had the foolish idea to chase after her. I got in my own stage wagon right behind her. I stole one of her gangs, and so we're riding along. I'm chasing behind her. It's like turning into Need for Speed Ye Old Edition. And then all of her goons are scripted to obviously attack me. And all of my goons are scripted to attack those guys. So they started following me as I was following her. And then finally, her AI just, I don't know why, it just decides at a certain point that, okay, screw it, I'm getting out of my stagecoach. So she got out of it. And she's turning around to shoot me. But as she does, one of her goons plowed into her. And then like 10 more of them plow into the same alley. Just like, it's a pile up of stage wagons. And I'm informed that I won the gang fight. And I'm like, I guess technically I did. I guess technically, victory by manslaughter.
That sounds like an epic moment, man.
Oh,
It just sounds authentic.
Yeah, it's like that is part of what I remember so fondly about Assassin's Creed. Because like when you're saying about the historical stuff, that really resonated, but also just they used to really love letting the player do all kinds of crazy stuff, and I miss that about sandbox games. Because like that always is the stuff that sticks with you, not the ultra scripted, you must only press this button at this time kind of stuff, but just the, wow, I can't believe that actually happened. There any moment a game caught you by surprise?
Sorry?
Is there any moment that like a game's mechanics just kind of came together and caught you by surprise?
To be honest, to think about, I don't actually experiment a lot. Yeah, I don't know, I just find, but I think Sekiro. but not in the way it had.
Vehicle close in,
Um,
hide in the shadows of the rock.
not it wasn't an experience like yours, where it was just something random. It's just when the pairing mechanic clicked with me,
Don't let them spot you.
dude. I loved it.
Okay, keep moving.
Oh dear, they can see me. I have to hide. What, do they have mortar cannons?
Oh, there's one instance in Vice City. Okay, so I don't know if you remember, but in Vice City, if you can hijack, you can steal people's bike in different ways, right? Like if you go sideways, he would just knee them, elbow them, and he would sit. But if you attack them, if you hijack it from the front, he would just freaking leap into the bike.
Stay completely
I
hidden.
don't. It's a
Don't let them
very
spot you.
just an animation thing. I don't know if you remember. But like once I was just playing Vice City and just I was just running along and there's this dude who's coming at me with a bike. I shot him with uh, a gun, straight headshot, and like the bike was still going and it was coming at me and I pressed the button. It was just a really funny moment because I shot him and then I just leaped into the bike. It looked really cool and
Yeah, it
funny.
sounds like, just flawless transition.
Keep moving.
Exactly. I think the old GTA games they were just more fun that way. Like if you experimented like that, I don't think GTA 5 has that much potential when it comes to experimenting. I mean,
Yeah.
you can do stunts, but I don't think I have anything. I've seen anything besides that. Especially San Andreas. That game, oh my god.
Yeah, I remember the same thing with the Mafia series. I remember,
Keep moving.
while their missions, like the main missions you'd play would be pretty linear. They otherwise were just kind of like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna set you in this sandbox. You mess up, you F around, you find out.
Yeah.
You could do all that sort of stuff.
I like the Mafia games as well, especially the first two.
Yeah, I still need to get to
Really
the
good
third.
stories, actually.
Yeah.
The stories were actually really good.
I hear you.
I don't know what happened with the third part.
I actually do. Development problems. Lots of development problems. Things did not end up the way they were supposed to.
Okay.
Um,
Like you mean delays, something like Cyberpunk?
more like the sandbox. Like the main criticism they kept getting from critics, which still boggles my mind to this day, was that there wasn't enough random filler stuff to do in like the open world sandbox. So as a result, they tried to figure out a bunch of dynamic stuff they could do in the open world sandbox. But a lot of it got cut, or if it didn't get cut, it kind of had to get cannibalized for the DLC packs. So as a result, that's why everything ended up so repetitious, despite them already having like this plan for a sprawling story. And basically, the season pass was the closest they could give to a band-aid to what was happening, because like they knew that this wasn't what they intended. I think that's why, like with Mafia 3 Definitive Edition, there's more of an emphasis on just integrating the DLC. Because, like, with Mafia 2, they were like, there wasn't anything majorly missing from there. But,
Yeah.
Mafia 3, a lot of stuff that they wanted to have included had to get cut and trimmed and stuff like that. Hangar 13 went through a lot of effort trying to make that all click together, right?
Oh man, that's kind of sad. Mafia had a lot of potential.
Oh, yeah. Knife to meet you. Hate to cut and run. without him noticing me. Okay, so apparently if you don't kill them in one hit, their little alarm goes off, actually. Interesting. Yeah, I did not expect a mandatory stealth section. Sorry, you were saying?
No, the animation was kind of weird right now.
Director Chen, I've moved away from
He was standing still. He was ready for it. He accepted death.
Yeah. He's just like, I know what game I'm in. I'm not gonna make it. Oh.
Shelly, you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, good. We're back to shooting things. Ooh, we are running close to our end time now, though, but we'll try to get a little bit further.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to discuss before we call it a night?
Yeah, I don't know, man. If we start discussing, it would be another hour or so.
Perhaps next time. Ooh, that guy got chopped in the groin. That had to hurt no matter how much of an immortal warrior he was. I do love that they have like these ancient archers and they keep making them pose like they're trying to shoot gangsta style.
Oh yeah. I didn't notice that.
I hope this is the right way.
This game has to be one of the most flashiest I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, yes. All the style points.
Yep. And I don't know, I respect that. I mean, the developer knew what he wanted.
Oh yeah.
That's what he went for. If you want flash, you play this game. I don't care about anything else.
Oh my gosh, so instead of a silencer, that is the grenade launcher there. Wow. But yes, agreed wholeheartedly. And like, at some point, everyone wants to. I mean, even From Software made Ninja Blade, which was just basically they straight up were like, "Yep, we're making Devil May Cry, but with more QuickTime events intentionally."
Who's like the best developer, like in your opinion?
Thinking. Ooh, wow, that pistol really
cool.
shoots. That is an Uzi. This thing melts.
Holy
Yeah. Ow. You know, I thought the pistol would be a downgrade, but no. But favorite developer. I will say that Monolith has rarely let me down. Like, you know, Fear 2 Project Origin happened, but everyone's got to mess up at least once.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they've very much, like, between Fear 1 and, you know, I've been really meaning to get back to Condemned because that was really impressive. Shadow of Mordor. They've done some absolutely jaw-dropping work.
Yeah, Shadow of Mordor was amazing.
And now they got
like
the
the
Wonder
scope
Woman.
and everything.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, no, Shadow of Mordor was amazing. Like the scope and everything was just mind-blowing.
And it ran so well on anything. Like, that was insane.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
That's a big point, yeah. Even Elden Ring has performance issues.
yeah, that's just it. Like, I recall the only, like, performance concern that they had to worry about with, Shadow of Mordor was on, like, the base gen Xbox One. They're like, oh, we can turn off Kinect? Awesome.
Wait, do you notice your bullets are ricocheting off the shield?
Yeah, but
That's
it's also...
really good.
Oh, yeah, it's also damaging, like, the structural integrity of it, too. Oh my. But yeah, I'm really glad you suggested this one, because I kept meaning to get to it, but there was always, oh, but I have to play this, oh, but I have to play that, but, oh yeah.
Yeah, there's Backlog.
There you go!
Why do we have umbrellas? Or is it something else?
It's an elaborate tie-in to the next Resident Evil.
Could be that. Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, instead of the lame protagonist of Resident Evil, you would have this one, and she would just like massacre everything in what, one day?
Well, I mean, we did kind of get that. Do you know about the origins of the original?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
we did.
Yeah, like with Devil May Cry. But yeah, I do agree that like an actual like in-universe Resident Evil game that's willing to be this action-y, like, make it star Ada Wong and I'm there.
Yeah. I mean, forget about her. You could have Doom guy, and that could be an hour. But I would love to see that, you know. Just him dealing with horror stuff. He would just rip through everything.
And now that you've said that, there's already a Doom mod being made to make that possible in like classic Doom. I'm still amazed at the mods that are coming out for that. Like, did you know that someone basically remade Doom Eternal in Quake 1?
Oh yeah. Yep. Modders are... Oh my god. You don't doubt them. Ever. Like this and a Bloodborne remake, and you would have all kinds of stuff.
I think by far one of the weirdest ones I ever played was there was this one guy who was a big deal in the Star Wars Battlefront 2 scene, Maverichel, and he decided, you know what? I'm gonna make a LucasArts adventure game inside a class-based multiplayer shooter. And then he did. It actually had item puzzles and everything. There was a cutscene. He sadly only did part 1. He never finished it, but just it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but still. Yeah. The vision. I wonder what happens to these people later on. I mean, I would imagine that that a development team would just reach them and ask if you want to join us.
Ooh, well, I hope that pandemic didn't, given that they shut down not too long after that. But sometimes yes, sometimes it's such a weird thing how certain people, like, I mean, Rockstar acts like it's, you know, some offense to nature against their stuff. Valve loves it. No, I didn't want to use that then. I just was trying to grab. Get over here!
Yeah, speaking of Valve, Half-Life 2 or Portal 2?
Oh, Portal 2, no question. I am very controversial.
Exactly.
Like you were saying about topics that could take us talking for another hour. My takes on Half-Life 2 could sit off the internet.
Nah, man, Portal 2 for days.
Yeah. But yeah, I have to say, Bright Memory Infinite, I am very impressed. This is running beautifully. The controls are crisp. The story makes absolutely no darn sense. It's like a lost PS2 game that happened to be made with modern sensibilities. And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Alright. And with that, we come to the end of our stream. And again, I want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in. You've been a lovely audience. I would like to also thank my lovely guest host, Mr. Ammar, for joining me and for encouraging me to give a whirl with Bright Memory. And yeah, you can find Jenny LeClue and Bright Memory on Steam, and you can find Bright Memory on Xbox, and you can find Jenny LeClue on pretty much anything right now, I think. Like, it's on Apple Arcade, it's on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, I think it's on the Xbox, as well as on PC, now with full voice acting and everything. So, yeah. If you liked what you see, be sure to check them out. And also, please, if you enjoyed our conversing and us showing you these games, please feel free to like and subscribe to the Boss Level Gamer channel. Alright.
And this was a great time. This was like the best start to a day.
Alright. I'm glad to hear it. Alright. Good night, everybody.